Hello, fifth graders. This is Mr. James coming to you from my classroom once again. Today is day 3, and we are going to go on to our next book. We just finished reading The U.S. Government at Work, and today we're going to be reading the U.S. Constitution. We'll do that over the next 2 days, and then on Friday we'll have a little review of the 2 texts that you have. So make sure you have your book in front of you. You might want to pre-read the questions or activities that you're going to be doing so that you know exactly what to pay attention to. And as always, make sure you're either following along on the screen or in your own text.
The U.S. Constitution, written by Carolyn Griffith. Focus question. What is the U.S. Constitution and why is it important? The need for a constitution. The United States won its independence from Great Britain in 1783. After 7 years of war, Americans were happy to finally have their own country, but they soon realized that they needed a new form of government. Since 1781, the states had worked together under an agreement called the Articles of Confederation, but it just wasn't working. The Articles gave most power to the states. The Continental Congress, the nation's first government, had very little power. The Congress could do almost nothing that any of the individual states were against. By 1786, it was clear that a stronger central government was needed. A historic meeting. In the summer of 1787, a group of delegates gathered in Philadelphia to create a new constitution or plan of government. The group included George Washington, Benjamin Franklin, and James Madison, the main author of the Constitution. Under the direction of George Washington, the delegates discussed what form the new government should take. They explained and argued about their ideas all through the hot summer. In the end, they created a new government with 3 branches: legislative, Congress; executive, the presidency; and judicial, the federal courts. When they completed their work, they had written a constitution that would last for hundreds of years. The U.S. Constitution is the highest law of the land. It is also the oldest written constitution still in use in the world. By early 1789, 11 states had approved the Constitution, and it became law. By the end of May 1790, the 2 remaining states, North Carolina and Rhode Island, had also approved it. In February 1789, George Washington became the first person elected president under the Constitution. A new age had begun. What's in the Constitution? The introduction to the Constitution explains that the goal of the document is to create a just, peaceful, safe, and prosperous society where people will enjoy the blessings of liberty. The main body of the Constitution is organized into 7 articles or sections. The first 3 articles explain how the 3 branches of the government are organized. Article 1 deals with Congress, which is divided into 2 parts: the House of Representatives and the Senate. The main job of the 2 houses of Congress is to pass new laws. The Constitution also gives Congress the power to collect taxes and provide for the defense of the nation. Article 2 deals with the executive branch. It grants the president certain powers and makes him or her the head of the armed forces. It also explains that anyone who wants to run for president needs to be a natural-born citizen, at least 35 years old. Under the system created by the Constitution, Americans don't actually vote directly for their president. They vote for people called electors, who are chosen by the state legislatures. Those electors then vote for the president. This system, known as the Electoral College, is supposed to keep someone who is popular but dangerous from becoming president. It is still in use today, though it is combined with a popular vote. Article 3 deals with the federal court system. It states that the judiciary includes a system of lower-level courts and a Supreme Court. The Supreme Court serves as the final decision-maker in federal legal cases. The remaining articles deal with relationships among the states, the procedure for amending or changing the Constitution, and national debts and treaties. The creators of the Constitution believed that the government should work within a system of checks and balances. This system limits the power of each branch of government to keep it from having too much control over the other branches. A major concern of the states was that the federal government would have too much power over them. To address this fear, the Constitution divides powers between the federal government and the states. The Constitution also protects the rights of individual citizens. It states that no person accused of a crime will lose his or her life, liberty, or property without going through a fair legal process, such as a trial by a judge or jury. It also forbids cruel and unusual punishment and protects free speech and other liberties.
All right, we're going to stop.
A living document.
Sorry about that. We're going to stop reading there today. I think I got to stop now. All right. Let me come back on the screen here. So for you today, you've got you should have completed what you already know about the U.S. Constitution beforehand, and what you want to know, like some questions that you have about the U.S. Constitution, and things that you're curious about. And then after reading, you should be putting some information in the What I Learned box, and maybe some more questions in the What I Still Want to Know. So questions that you're still curious about. And then you have a question that says, why did the leaders of the United States decide to create a national constitution? So a constitution that was across the entire nation, and not just have individual states given their own laws, their own government, but have a national constitution. And then the words that you are going to be writing definitions today for are Constitution, delegates, liberty, and federal. Remember, you want to write your own creative sentence on each of those, and all those definitions are available in the glossary. And then for your writing today, I know that you've already done an outline and you've already done a rough draft, But what we want to do today is try to improve and add some details to your text. So the process I'd like you to go through today is to reread that rough draft that you wrote yesterday and try to envision the setting and main character of the story. And hopefully the main character of the story is yourself, but you're envisioning yourself in that moment. And I've given you a bunch of questions to help you kind of visualize and think about what it was like in that moment when you were there. And then after you've done that, and you've kind of asked yourself those questions and thought about that, thought about the setting, you're going to do a little sketch of the setting. Now, this is going to help you to, oh, my lights went out. Hold on. Aha. This is going to help you to better develop some details in your writing so that your reader can visualize that setting. So not only are you going to do a little sketch, now I didn't say a professional drawing, I saw a sketch. You're going to write some descriptive words and phrases. These are going to be ways that you could describe what it was like in that setting. Then you're going to take those words and phrases, you're going to go back to your rough draft, and you're going to find places where you can add those descriptive words and phrases in. And you're going to do that in a different colored pencil or pen so that I can see that you went back and you added some description. You're going to do the same thing with your main character. You're going to do a sketch of your main character, probably yourself. You're going to write some words and descriptions about that character using the questions I've provided. Then go back into your rough draft and you're going to write some of those descriptive words and phrases in your story so that your reader can better visualize what you look like or what you are feeling like based off of the questions that I provided. So if you need help on that or you have questions, you should reach out to me or one of your teachers, and I think they'll be able to help you answer questions that you might have. But the idea is that we're adding details to your text today. All right? Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have questions, please reach out. Otherwise, I will talk to you again really soon.